Hi everyone. Davide, come on.
Oh hey, sorry, I'm Davide.
And I am Giacomo.
We're here to talk about audio messages and why we started to hate them. At first we had no problem dealing with them, because it's a common form of communication between teenagers. But then one of our friends decided that it was time for him to get a girlfriend. And so, because of her only talking through audio messages, we started a lot of misfortunes. After this, our friends and our interactions with him kept being interrupted because of this ear-raping girl and all of her audio messages. And also because our friends don't delay the listening of those audio. If you imagine this applied to a real-life situation, it looks more or less like this.
But before we jump into the main topic, we should technically understand how audio messages work. First of all, thanks to the microphone integrated in our phones, we are able to capture the sound that we can also hear. In fact, it works like our ears, with the difference that it digitalizes all the sound. And so, what is digitalization? Well, digitalization is a sort of translator that turns sounds into something that machines can understand. It's binary language, which alphabet is zeros and one. Simplified, it is something like this. We have the normal wave that represents the original sound, and then the digitalized one that is the sound you can hear from a device.
So, what's wrong with audio messages? Well, audio messages are really spread between teenagers, and because of this, many of them started to lose contact with reality. But I can assure you, not only young people do that, also older people. Because, for example, I will tell you about my mother. She started watching those long Facebook videos about politics, which I consider a form of audio messages, and so she started to ignore her duties as a mother. Even though they can be really annoying, audio messages can also be useful. For example, if you have a friend that you didn't meet for a very long time, you can hear his voice or her voice with this form of communication. But also, if you are lucky enough, like our friend, you could find your own personal audio sender machine and fall in love with her audio.
We think you should consider some alternatives to audio messages. One of these is to meet each other, when possible, in order to express yourself face to face. Forget for a second about your phone and not browsing other Instagram accounts. Another way that prevents yourself from becoming a phone speaker could be using text messages like good old days. It helps your written grammar and they don't bother others as much as audio messages. But if you love your voice so much and want others to hear it desperately, why don't consider to use your free calls minutes from your phone subscription and save internet data? Well, phone calls are not as bad as audio messages because you don't start a conversation with others and then interrupt it to listen to something else. You are just focused on the call you are having and people around you don't expect you talk with them.
The best advice I can give you is to keep using them, but with respect for others. For example, if you are in public, you should consider not listening to them, because they really can bother someone else, because nobody really cares about what you receive and what you are listening. For example, our previously mentioned friend came with us to another friend's birthday. Here, we had a lot of fun, if I remember correctly. But then, this friend decided that he had to listen to all the audio messages that he didn't listen during the whole day, because he was with us, and she started ignoring us. And this annoyed me a lot, I can assure you. This is the story of I almost murdered someone, my friend. So, in order to be respected, respect others first.
In the last 2 decades, we had an incredible jump in technology innovation sector. And thanks to this, many objects and things that drastically improved our lives were invented.
We should always be thankful about the many things that were invented, like GPS, phones, PCs, precision tools, medical instruments, and many other things that really improved our life.
But this still keeping in mind that we are not robots and we shouldn't totally depend from these things. Instead, we could use them for improve ourselves and what we can do.
Because nothing is impossible.
Everything is in our hand.
Thank you.
Thank you.